Hey, welcome back to the Tall Ones podcast. I'm Jeffrey Mega Oof Probst here with my co-host Alex the Gazelle Whiteley.
We're here today to talk about one of the most important inventions in history, the power plant.
Hopefully, we will be able to enlighten our listeners on this topic. So let's get lit.
When and where was the inventor born?
Thomas Edison was born on February 11th, 1847 in Milan, Ohio.
Who is in Thomas Edison's family?
Thomas Edison's mother was named Nancy Elliott, and his father's name was Samuel Edison. Thomas had 3 brothers and 3 sisters: Carly Edison, William Edison, Samuel Edison, Marian Edison, Eliza Edison, and Harriet Edison.
Wow, fantastic. What did Thomas Edison do in his early life?
He went to the Cooper Union to learn, and he worked as a lighthouse keeper and carpenter on the Fort Garrett Military in Port Huron, Michigan. Alva, as the inventor was known until his second marriage, entered school with the attendant sporter for 5 years. He was imaginative and inquisitive, but because much instruction was but rote and he had difficult hearing, he was born with labeled a misfit.
Interesting. Did he stay in school for very long?
Surprisingly, he did not. In 1859, Edison quit school and began working as a train boy on the railroad between Detroit and Port Huron. 4 years earlier, the Michigan Central had intended the commercial application of the telegraph by using it to control the movement of its trains. And the Civil War brought a vast expansion of transportation and communication. Edison took advantage of the opportunity to learn telegraph and in 1863 became an appreciate telegrapher.
Wow, such an interesting start to his life. Let's take a break here and we will come back to talk about Edison and the power plant. Stay tuned for more from the Tall Ones podcast right after this.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Tape, the super strong waterproof tape that can instantly patch, bond, seal, and repair. Flex Tape is no ordinary tape. Its triple thick adhesive virtually welds itself to the surface, instantly stopping the toughest leaks. Leaky pipes can cause major damage, but Flex Tape grips on tight and bonds instantly. Plus, Flex Tape's powerful adhesive is so strong, it even works underwater. Now you can repair leaks in pools and spas without draining them. Flex Tape is perfect for marine, campers, and RVs. Flex Tape is super strong, and once it's on, it holds on tight. And for emergency auto repair, Flex Tape keeps its grip, even in the toughest conditions. Big storms can cause big damage, but Flex Tape comes super wide, so you can easily patch large holes. To show you the power of Flex Tape, I sawed this boat in half and repaired it with only Flex Tape. Not only does Flex Tape's powerful adhesive hold the boat together, but it creates a super strong watertight seal, so the inside is completely dry. Yeah, doggy! Just cut, peel, stick, and seal. Imagine everything you can do with the power of Flex Tape.
Welcome back to our episode on Thomas Edison and the power plant.
How did Thomas Edison think of the power plant?
Thomas Edison thought of the power plant and the power system because of the light bulbs that he invented in 1879. Edison needed a way to make power so that light bulbs around a city could light buildings, instead of using fire because that was unsafe at the time.
What was the first power plant like?
In 1882, the world's first coal-fired public power station, the Edison Electric Light Station, was built in London, a project of Thomas Edison organized by Edward Johnson. A Babcock and a Wilcox boiler powered a 125 horsepower steam engine that drove a 27-ton generator. The first power plant in the U.S. was in New York at the Pearl Street Station. The power plant lifted up 400 lights, and the plant grew constantly over the next few years.
What is a power plant?
A power plant is an industrial factory that generates electricity from primary energy. Most power plants use one or more generators that can convert mechanical energy into electric energy in order to supply power to the electrical grid for society's electrical needs. Electricity is a product at an electric power plant.
So, what kind of fuel does the power plant use?
Some fuel sources, such as coal, oil, natural gas, or nuclear energy, produce heat. The heat is used to boil water to create steam.
Where does the heat and electricity go to?
The steam under high pressure is used to spin a turbine, and then the energy from the turbine so it could power light bulbs in buildings. Because everyone for the light used fireplaces, and that unsafe if it was in the building at the time.
Well, good thing for Thomas Edison and his power plant. Speaking of, when and how did Thomas Edison die?
Thomas Edison died on October 18th, 1931, at his home in West Orange, New Jersey, because of diabetes.
Well, that's too bad. But at least he left us with a great invention. Speaking of, what do you think of the power plant?
I think the power plant is a good idea because the world probably wouldn't be how it is today, and places wouldn't get electricity, and companies wouldn't be able to run equipment. So I think it was a good invention. Alex, what do you think of the power plant?
Almost everyone uses what the power plant gives, but most have never operated one in their life. The power plant is what everyone use the power that it gives. For example, TV, Xbox One, PS4, or charging your phone. Thank you for listening to the Tall Ones podcast. See you in the next podcast.
Mega oof.